Welcome back to Reno, Nevada 2023 National Championship Air Races. We are well underway here. Day 2 of racing, this Thursday of 5 days of racing. One of the most unique events of all of sport. And this is one of the most unique classes of our 6 that are on display this week. A lot of nostalgia in this one, a lot of American military history. The T6, these famous trainers, Rob Lowe, that everyone loves. It's just a favorite of the fans for 6 decades now.
Yeah, absolutely. And what happens here, Tommy, is we have 2 T6s on the runway together. They depart in a section takeoff or simultaneously. They go down runway 8 from your left to your right, and they're going to make one circuit of our T6, our 4.8-mile course, and the first aircraft back to the home pylon wins the race. Now, this is true bracket-style drag racing. These are the quarterfinals, and here we go. This is race number 5. That's William Walker III. He is in an aircraft called Big Red. That is a Navy S&J version of the T6. You see as the speed builds, the tail comes up. Now beside him, we'll see Chris Lefebvre in race number 2, Bare Essentials, that we'll see here in just a minute. Gordo Sanders is in race number 5.
All right, folks, well, I
Chris Lefebvre in race 2.
He is there. So we're going to see these guys depart, and they're going to opt for the airborne start here, Tommy. So it looks like 2 and 69 are pulling up here together. So we're going to the rules allow for them to opt for a couple options. Here we go. We're going to see actually Chris Lefebvre and Lee Oman in race 69. You see our starter out there with the yellow shirt and the green flag. That's where he'll raise that flag, and then we'll start. So Lee Oman in race 69 is the old Army Air Corps version of the T6, the AT6. Mm-hmm. This aircraft is known as the pilot maker. They say more people have learned to fly in this aircraft than any other aircraft in history. It is a handful to fly, Tommy. It comes in the Air Force AT6 version that we just talked about. The S&J is the Navy version. And then the Harvard, which is what Big Red was that we just departed, that's a license-built version up in Canada. They're all the same airplane, just built for different purposes. But here we see Chris Lefebvre in race 2, Bare Essentials, and Lee Oman in race 69, Arrows.
So this will be our first matchup here. These big, heavy tail draggers that, as you say, Rob, are a handful for sure.
Yeah, they are. And, you know, they say, Tommy, that there's the green flag. So here we go. They say these aircraft are, you're not done flying them until you turn the engine off and they're in the chocks. They're a handful to taxi. We'll talk more about that later. But here you see, this is what all of our warfighters learned to fly in World War II and after. That big radial engine as it makes its way by. Let's listen to it as it goes by here, Tommy. Beginning to retract on these 2 aircraft. What's so cool about that sound that we can hear as it goes by, you hear the big low rumble of the engine. That is the 9-cylinder Pratt & Whitney air-cooled radial engine. They burn regular gas. This is pretty much stock aircraft here. But that little crackling sound you heard at that high RPM, high-pitch setting, Tommy, as they went by, that's actually the tips of a metal 9-foot-long Hamilton and Standard metal prop. The tips are going supersonic, and that's what makes that beautiful crackling sound that we all love to hear. Just such a historic sound. Now don't forget, they're going to make one circuit around our 4.8-mile T6 course here. You can see race 69 with Lee Oman, and Eros is out in front. Now the aircraft, had one of them been faster than the other, as they just finished that last pylon, that was the first place they could have passed. They have to stay in their lane until pylon number 3, and then they can make the pass. But in this case, Chris Lefebvre in race 2, you see him beginning to gain, at least from our perspective, it looks like he is. He's taking the outside line, which is you have to pass on the outside. He's got the longer way around, but it looks like he's a little bit faster. We'll know just in a minute here as they come around the final pylons. They are coming around 4, 5, 6, and 7 here as they make their way back to the home pylon. So things are getting exciting in those cockpits now, Tommy.
This happens very, very quickly. We're almost done with this race. They'll hit the straightaway, head toward the start-finish pylon, and the first one there will be the winner of this heat. T6 drag.
Now here we go. It looks like Arrows. Chris Lefebvre has made the pass, and he's out front here as we come. This will be the unofficial finish right there as he passes the home pylon. And Lee Oman in race 69 finishes second. You see them both pitching up and going away. So we're going to have two other aircraft that are on departure now as we roll out there, Tommy. We've got race 25, Jason Carlin in Vicarious, and race number 50, that is Vitalik Bucherski in Abracadabra. He's an AT6, as well as Jason in race 25 is an SNJ. So we got the Navy version racing the old Army Air Corps Air Force version, if you will, here. Now remember, as they go around these first few pylons, they can advance forward and back, but they can't complete the pass. So the pole position definitely gives you an advantage. And here you see Jason Carlin in 25 Vicarious. They're in the blue aircraft. That is your Navy version in the Navy paint scheme. And then you see the Air Force version in it's Greg McNeely in race 90, I think. We may have misread that. That may have been my misread. I thought it was a 50 on the side of that airplane. It sure looks like it. Anyway, we do have a close race here going down the back stretch. You see the wide aircraft beginning to build some speed as he makes his way down the back stretch.
Certainly in position to pass now, make a move if he can.
Up close look at Jason Carlin and Vicarious, and that definitely is race 90. And Greg McNeely there in the other aircraft, and he's beginning to make his move as he's built all that speed down the backstretch. They're coming around the final four pylons. They're headed for pylon 6 and 7. You see right there in the bottom of your screen. Down low, you can see Jason Carlin trying to stay low, stay tight, take the shortest way to the home pylon, but Greg's got a little bit of speed built up on him on the outside. Tommy, this is going to be close.
Yeah, this is going to be a little closer than our other quarterfinal match here, but it looks like Greg McNeely taking over there.
He gets him at the end. So, wow, that was fast, and faster and furious. So one lap around, this T6 drag racing is so exciting. The crowd just absolutely loves it. The adrenaline is all there. Now, this is quarterfinal racing, Tommy, so we had 2 races today, 4 aircraft. We expect to do the same thing again tomorrow. And then we'll have semis on Saturday and our finals on Sunday. So it looks like T6 drag was quite a success today. It's always a fan favorite, and the aircraft are certainly fan favorites. They're so historic.
And we got a full field races coming up in the T6 class later today as well, so we'll be bringing you that, and we look forward to that as well too. It gets very exciting, very close wingtip to wingtip type competition then, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, quite exciting, and these historic aircraft really are something special to see and hear as they go by. But here you get a great look at, this is the last year we'll have that home pylon standing here at Reno. That's Tommy, and beautiful
final flag is on Sunday.
Blue and white, yep. And you can see the Thanks Reno sign there beside it. And we're just so proud of the relationship we've had with the Reno Tahoe area over the years, and Reno Stead field here in Reno. It's just a beautiful sight.
Well, here we go with our recap of this drag racing quarterfinal action here on day number 2 in Reno, and this was race number 1.
Yeah, and there we have, you could see the pass being made by Chris Lefebvre there on Lee Oman, race 69 with the red wingtips down low. And Chris Lefebvre had to take the long way around, but here you see a beautiful up-close personal look at those spectacular historic aircraft coming around those final pylons. And as they complete this turn, make their way to the home pylon here, you begin to see that actually out in front right there is Chris Lefebvre in 2. He made the pass through those last 4 pylons, and here is the finish where he takes the win unofficially right there. So that was the first of 2. And here's the second one. On the inside, we had Jason Carlin in race 25, the Navy version, but he gets passed by Greg McNeely in the Army Air Corps Air Force version, race 90. And